Well, we're now in the Hants Railway boiler shop. This is the boiler that will be going back on 30506, hopefully in the next few months. A little bit of history on the boiler. Back in the day, the boilers were numbered after the loco they originally went on, but then subsequent heavy overhauls, boilers just got moved around, as did most of the components. It depended what was available when the frames were ready, that went back on. It subsequently ended its working life, funnily enough, on 499, so we're sort of carrying on the tradition of rotating boilers. But within the next, what should we say, 4 or 5 months, I would like to think this will be sitting in the frames of the engine, and another couple of months after that you'll see her running up and down on the mid-Hants. Fingers crossed. Behind me is the second of the Urie Group's projects. This is Loco 30499, withdrawn from BR service in 1963, taken to the scrapyard in South Wales the following year, and there it languished until 1986 when she was bought by the Urie Society. Originally bought as a source of spares for 506, but as often the case with these things, the group, sometime subsequent to that, decided to restore her in her own right. So that is what we've started, and there is something completely unique about this project, and that is that we are going to restore it to its as-built condition as she looked in 1920. The project will probably take another 5 years or so to complete. We will do it. We have money behind us. We do need some more, but we've been able to make a strong start on this, and we are having to do some heavy engineering. We're using techniques that they would have used back in Eastleigh Works in the day, if you like, in 1920 when these things were built. And to us in the Urie Group, that makes it something special, because what we're about with this is to leave a legacy. It's not about just us playing trains, and we want to restore the engine, we want to run it. And the legacy is the only 2 surviving Urie designed locos, 506 and 499, running, but also restored as near as we can in the way that they were built.
Hi, my name's Linda. I'm married to Mark Pedley, who's the chairman of the Urie Locomotive Society. I think it's really important to Mark in particular because he's an owner of a small business. It's quite stressful, and it's one way of him releasing the tension, I guess. He gets very excited about going to the railway, really enjoys going there, and I think he's doing a wonderful job because they're preserving the heritage of Britain, really, some of the things that are just going to disappear if people neglect them. I think the society is very important as a heritage thing. The engines that are being looked after and brought back to life, basically, will just crumble and die, and it's such a shame. I'm actually old enough to just about remember being a little girl and going on steam engines. So there's a lot of nostalgia for people my age and older, and I think it's wonderful that they've got people who've got the skills and the interest to actually go ahead and do this work. I'm incredibly proud of what he does. He's not an engineer by trade, he's an accountant by trade, and to have learnt these skills, to be able to rivet hugely thick pieces of metal into a steam engine that's going to carry passengers, it is just incredible, and all the guys do a wonderful job.
Lots of excitement, lots of buzz, and hopefully in 4 or 5 years' time the fruits of our labour will show. And if we're not getting any younger, we acknowledge that, and if we can do this while we can, we're doing as much work as we can, then we can pass it on to the next generations, and hopefully some of you watching now will look at it and think, yeah, I know those guys that did that, and maybe one day take it on and join on.